I'm going to go through how you create a model for a tool holder. There are a lot of different ways to do this inside of SmoothCam, the Smooth Control. I utilize the method where you create the tool parts and then you add them together into a tool model. Just to zoom in here a little bit so you can see these tool holders that I've drawn are representative of about 15 or so different kinds of holders that I have in my machine. If I go to Tool Data, Tool Model Manage, this is where you manage the models. So they use two words. Mazak uses these two words, a word called part and a word called model. Part model and tool model. A part is like a holder. These are holders. Just go through some of these here so you can see them real quick. I draw them very simply. All I do is just measure my holder to get the diameters and the lengths of it. And then in some cases you're also going to want to draw the cutter itself. That is under the category milling. And again, keep in mind I'm not talking about any turning cutters. I'm only talking about rotary milling cutters. So down here we have some cutters, and you know, some of them just look like that's a chamfer thing. There's a there's a cutter that looks like a threading tool, single point threading milling tool. Anyway, in order to create a new holder, because most of you are just going to want to do the holders, you click on Add Model, and then you select that you want to create and add a part, because what we're doing are parts first. And the part is either going to be a holder or a milling. And I'm going to select holder because that's the one that I'm going to show you how to do here. And then always give it a maker name of just some dumb word. I just picked Integrex. Type in the name of the model number that's going to be, like for instance here I use C6 shrink 250. You might wonder why I put C6 in front of it if that's the only type of coupling that my machine uses. I have a reason for that, but we'll get to it. Tool is always going to be in mil, okay, down here. So you're going to have a name here and then you'd say OK. When you say OK, what you're going to do is you're going to come up with a page that's going to look like this. And I'm just going to go into one of these holders here and click Edit Model. And you're going to see something like this. You're going to see some very basic XY coordinates that I typed in myself. You're starting at the head of the machine. That's what this little mark right here is. And so you start at 0, 0, and then you come out to a radius of 1 1/4, and that's how big the diameter is of the part of a C6 holder that the tool arm can clamp onto. And then this is how long the holder is. This is the center line of the holder, and the shape of the holder will be this line revolved around the center line. So these are all radius values, and that's about it. They're all the figures that I use mostly are just lines. You can do arcs, and you can draw things with arcs. You get as fancy as you want, but I recommend you block it out, because the graphics on the control and the graphics in your PC are going to have a hard time if you make these complicated. That's one of the reasons why I did all this, because the holders that come inside, pre-installed in the machine tool, though they're, you know, just a wild stab at what manufacturers you might want, they're not useful because the models are too complicated, and when you try to use them, the machine will run too slow. Okay, when you are drawing I'm going to go back to the tool model manage page. And if I say add a model, add a part again, but this time I want to do a milling, it means a cutter. It means an in mill. Put in the name here, like this Integrex here, like I'm just going to do a simple one here, which is chamfer, like this. So you're going to put in milling and you're going to put in the name. So these are, any names you want to use, it doesn't matter. Just so you can remember it. The maker name has to be Integrex again, in my case. And then the model name here, and the tool is always going to be InMill. Okay. And then you say okay. And the reason that I went through that one is to show you that in you either are going to be making a cutter in milling, or you're going to make a holder underneath the holder thing. So if I take a look at one that I've already done here, take a look at one of these milling cutters that I've already done, and I edit the model. You're going to see here the little dot here where it starts. This is the tip of the cutter. So to the right is the direction of the head of the machine, and to the left is the direction of the stock that you're cutting. And all I do here again is, if I wanted a chamfer cutter, you specify the coordinates starting at 0, 0, coming down to a radius, put in your chamfer, and then come up a ways to where you're specifying that as the cutter. And then the last little bit will be the rest of the shank, and you always have to bring the line back into the center because this is going to be revolved. Okay, so what'll happen is when you build this point here and the point on the holder will be adjusted given whatever your tool length is in your tool data automatically. So you don't ever have to worry about that. It adjusts this as you would expect it to if you were hoping for the best. They really did a very good job of designing this part. So if I go back to tool model, now I'm just basically telling you these are parts. Okay, they're called part models, but they're parts. They're holders and milling cutters. Then after you get done with that, before you can use any of these, you have to build a tool up out of them. So you go to this next thing here, which is tool model, and you go back into the in-mill. And these are going to be models for tools that are going to be a combination of a holder and a cutter. But you don't generally want to add the cutter. So like a lot of these here, in this one case, this is my 1/4 inch shrink fit tool. You see there's no cutter coming out of it because you don't need it. And it'll model the cutter itself just from the tool data. That's the beauty of all this. If you do have a cutter, however, like this one does, it will automatically set the dimension from here to here as whatever the length is that you have in your tool data. So to build one of these here that's just a holder, like this Shrink 500, which is just a holder, and I say, edit this model. You see, when I was building it up, I had to pick a holder, a socket, and a tool. Well, I didn't pick any of these others. I just picked the holder. And this is the key thing here. For most of yours, you're just going to pick a holder, and that's all that's going to be needed. And when you go to one that is a cutter with a holder, and I'll do edit model on this one. You see here I had selected the holder, and down here I had selected one of the cutters. Alright, so when I go to the tool data, and I'll go up here to tool number 2. So right here, when you select the tool model that you want to be associated with the tool you have, tool 2 in this case, you just select the model, and these are all my models that are in here. And I can select any one of these, like this ER32 or whatever I want, ER20, say OK. Now this tool here will be an ER20. If you want to see it, you can run a simulation that utilizes tool 2 in this case. Or you can see it directly. It's kind of hidden here, but it's underneath of setup info. Okay, and then you go into this setting here, tooling mode. And this won't normally show it here, so you'll have to select this display, select 1, and select tool model. Say okay, I had already done it, so it was already there. And now when you select a tool here, I don't have tool 2 here, so I can't show you that one, but as you're going down through these, you'll see what these tools look like. Here is one of the very few that are in this list that is a tool that is a tool model that's made up of a holder and a cutter.